What is your full name?
My full name is Judith K. Bass.
Where are you from?
I live in Oxford, Michigan.
How old were you in 2009?
In 2009, I'd have to do some math to figure that out, but I was already retired, so I think I was in my middle 60s.
Okay. What do you recall about your financial life before the Great Recession, which was before 2007?
Well, since I was already retired, I had a retirement account, and I remember before that time feeling pretty confident. The money was growing every time a statement would come in, and it was pretty comforting.
That's good. And about like buying homes or your friends who were buying homes?
Mostly my friends all had their homes already, but my children would be interested in buying homes, and it just turned out to be a time that wouldn't be, well, I guess it was good. They bought it. Prices were a little high. I have to say that. I do remember prices were high for homes before the recession.
How did you discover that our nation was facing a severe economic situation in December 2007?
Well, I think mostly those statements I was talking about for the retirement account, things started kind of going downhill. They weren't quite as good as they had been. And also on the news, they kept talking about the people that were starting to lose homes and various things happening at the banks. So that's how I learned about it.
What financial hardships did you experience during the economic situation, including loss of homes or other assets or jobs of like people you knew, or do you remember anyone you know having trouble finding homes?
Well, actually, because I was already retired and I was pretty set, it didn't affect me personally other than watching my statements and my money not being quite like it was before. But I do remember meeting some people that talked about losing their homes and being foreclosed, or if I was at the beauty shop or something like that at the salon. So I do remember hearing people suffering at that time.
Do you remember what you thought of what the government was doing at the time, like what George W. Bush was doing and what Obama went on to do?
Well, in all honesty, I don't remember too much other than feeling a little bit happy that they were trying to do something. And I thought that was a very good thing. And I forgot something very important, how it affected me. I had a GM stock, and GM went bankrupt during that time. And I lost a lot of money. I forgot about that. And so actually, I was hoping the government would have given them a loan, but instead they did not do that. They just let them go into bankruptcy. So people that had money and stock in GM just lost it.
Do you remember why they lost?
They lost it because of the bankruptcy. And when you're in bankruptcy, you don't pay back and everything, so you just lose your money if you had money in the stocks. So I did forget that for a minute. That did personally affect me.
What has the Great Recession changed you, or do you know of anything how has it changed our nation?
I think it's changed me in being not so confident in some big institutions. Like, I would have never thought that a company like General Motors would go bankrupt. It was the safest place in the world to have your money, and that didn't turn out to be that way. So now I think you have to be very careful. Nothing is a sure thing. And you really have to be very careful and plan for a rainy day, because you just don't know what could possibly happen in the future.
What do you believe is our nation's greatest economic concern, and why?
Well, I think making sure that people have jobs is really important, because people can't have a good standard of living if they can't find a job. So I think that would be a big concern.
Yes. And do you think that recessions or depressions can be prevented?
I'm not sure about that, Possibly the big companies that are involved in that, I'm sure they're doing things differently than they once did too, because they learned a lot of lessons from it. So perhaps it's on their shoulders to kind of make sure their companies are a little more stable, so what happened to General Motors never happens again.
What do you believe should be done to protect the people from economic problems?
What should be done? I think we have to have different programs. One, I'm thinking of healthcare. That costs people a lot of money and takes their income away. That if we can help them out in that area and make sure that jobs are there, I think that would be a good thing to protect them, and then it's kind of up to the individual to use their money wisely and save and know that things could get bad again and be in a real turn down.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome.